Good morning.
Good morning.
Baruch Hashem, with the Chodesh of Shvat, we're starting a brand new midah this month, continuing in the Sefer Orchos Tzadikim. The midah of this month is shtika, silence. The midah of silence. And it's a confusing midah. So often people are quiet when they should talk, and people talk when they should be quiet. People say the right thing at the wrong time and say the wrong thing at the right time. And best, like Rabbi Milstein has chazered 100 times before Purim already, the Gemara says that you can get paid for saying something, but you get paid more for not saying anything at all. Certainly, it is a great, great opportunity to talk about the midah of shtika. There are different reasons why a person might be quiet. A person might be quiet because he lacks the social ability to communicate. Or a person might be quiet because he has a lot going on inside his head and he can't share it right now. Or he might be quiet because he's controlling his response. I want to share a very, very famous story. The reason I'm sharing this story is because I saw it just quoted very recently in this wonderful sefer from Chaim Kanievsky on Parshas Va'era. You heard the story before, but trust me, this is the true story. There was a couple, they were married for 22 years. This is exactly the way the story was. They were married for 22 years, and they tried everything to have children, but they could not have children. They went to Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky, and after 22 years of being married, they said to Rabbi Chaim, what should we do? And Rabbi Chaim said, have you tried this? Yes. Have you tried that? Yeah. Have you spoken to this person? Yeah. Have you spoken to that person? Have you gone to this doctor? And they said yes to everything. And Rabbi Chaim says to them, well, maybe you're just simply not meant to have children. She's crying, the mother's crying, the father's crying. How could you say that? How could you say that? Rabbi Chaim said, I've told you everything that I know. Perhaps there's one thing left. The Gemara says the great power of a person who stays quiet in the middle of an argument. When somebody has put somebody down and they've kept their mouth closed, maybe that can help you. Find somebody who was insulted, who was embarrassed, and keeps their mouth closed. And you imagine you normally hear this story. It's the next day. They went to a wedding. Nope. 4 years later, they're by a wedding. And to make a longer story shorter, there is a person at this wedding who, for whatever reason, it's a very funny story, exactly why they were being insulted. But they were being insulted by some old lady who accused this woman of being a ganav and being a horrible person, and she's cursing this lady out. And as this young lady is about to respond to this old lady who was just ripping into her, the young lady says nothing because someone tapped her on the shoulder. And she said, I beg you, please don't say anything. And of course, that was the lady who now has been childless for 26 years. And she said to her, please, please, please don't say anything. And she walks out with her, and they walk out together. And she says to her, please give me a bracha. And she tells her the story of Rabbi Chaim. And she gives her a bracha that she should have children. And yes, 9 months later, she has a baby. That is a very, very famous story. I'll just say a quick addition to that story. My wonderful wife, Zol Gesundsein zum langen Jahren. We were by an event, and my wonderful child at that time was a baby, and he was screaming and crying. And somebody really, really embarrassed my wife in public. And it was really not nice. And my wife, she was fine with it. She got up, she walked out of this speech, and she gets outside, and an older single girl goes up to my wife, and she says to her, please, I have been single for X amount of years, and I'm looking for my shidduch. And my wife said, I didn't really feel embarrassed. My wife's a big tzedekah. No, she said, please, 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 give me a bracha. So my wife gave her a bracha. 3 months later, she was engaged. She's now, Baruch Hashem, she's married. You see the power of staying quiet. Everyone should have a wonderful day, B'ez Hashem.